Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you that how you can upload a file with multer. So as you can see here I have a form. So in this form if I fill something like blank data and then I will choose a random image and click this upload button. So you can see we are redirected toward this upload route which is of post type. So what we have to do here, we have to get the file, we have to save the file to the database, and we have to upload the image before saving this file. Means before coming to this route we have to save the file, and that is can be done with a middleware, and this middleware is called multer. Okay, so actually we are using multer in Express because Express doesn't pass any form data itself, so we have to use something which can pass the form data. So here we are using multer to pass the form data. So let's start with it. So here in the Sublime text editor, first of all you have to require a multer module. So before requiring you have to install it. So I already installed the multer module. You can install it using this npm install multer-save command. So here I have a multer already installed, so I'm going to require the multer. Now after requiring the multer, what I have to do is I have to somehow pass some configuration for it. So I will create some configuration for it. So multer conf, and it is actually is an object. Inside of it, first of all I'm going to tell the storage. So there are two types of storage in multer. First one is disk storage, which will store the file in your hard disk. Second one is memory storage, which will store the file in your memory and will get deleted if you close your server. Okay, so storage will be equals to memory dot disk storage, and this disk storage is actually a method of our, sorry, this is not memory, this is multer, of a multer module. So here we also going to pass a parameter. Inside of this, first of all I'm going to tell the destination of a file where we are going to store it. So it is a function with three parameters. First one is request, second one is a file we are getting from the form, and third one is a callback function. So next, so we are going to call the next callback function, and we don't have any errors here, and in the second value will be our path where we are going to upload the image. So public / images. Okay, so this is our storage property, and the second property is file name. So here we are going to set the file name of the image before it's uploading. So function, it will also accept the same request file and the next call the function, and inside of it what we have, sorry, this is inside of the storage actually. Okay, so here we are going to get a file, so we can log the file and see what actually the file contains. So in order to get this working we have to pass it over here as a middleware. So multer, and we are going to pass the configuration multer conf, and because we are uploading the single image, so single, and the name of our input type, so that is photo. Okay, so if I will inspect this, you can see this have the name photo, means that's why we pass photo over here. So when I add something called blank and will pass any file to it and click the upload button, you can see here in the console I have this file object which have field name, original name, encoding and MIME type, that is MIME type. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to somehow get this PNG extension from MIME type and then create the file name and add this extension in the end. So now coming back to text editor, here I'm going to create a variable called ext where we are going to extract the extension from our MIME type. So MIME type, it is actually a string. So we are going to split this string and convert this into an array. So we are split this with slash. So now after that we have two values. First one is image and PNG in an array. So we want the last value. So we are going to select the last value, that is 1. Okay, so now we have our extension. So now we are going to call our next callback function with null and we'll pass our file name. So file name will be file dot field name. Okay, field name. So to make this name as a random name means the name which don't be repeated, we are going to pass something called, we are going to add something called date or now. It will add the current date and then we have dot and then we are going to give it an extension. So it will be something like that is photo, then some date and then dot jpeg dot png, anything like that. Okay, so this is our storage. Now the second configuration is file filter, where we are going to check if this file is of image type or not. So the file filter, it is also a function with 3 parameter request file and our callback function. So first of all we are going to check if we have file or not. If we don't have a file, we are going to call the next piece of middleware, which is in our case this function. Okay, so after this what we are going to do, we are going to check if our file MIME type starts with image slash or not. So we have a const image where we are going to store and that true or false value of our MIME type is starting with image slash or not. So how we can check this? So file dot MIME type dot starts with, okay, and image. First, if it is starts with image slash, so this image is equals to true. If it is not starting with image slash, it is false. So if image means if it is image, what we are going to do here, we are going to call the next, we are going to call a callback function and pass null, means we don't have an error, and true. But if we don't have a file, we are going to call next with a message that is file not supported, file type not supported, and then the second value will be false. Okay, so now let's see this in the action. So whenever we have an error in the app.js, we have the error handler over here. So we are going to get an error message in our front end. So let's see how we can, if it is working or not. So here we have a file, some dummy instructions, and then we are going to upload some raw files. So this one, okay, then upload this. Oops, this site can't be reached. So let's see what should be the error is. Okay, start with, so it should be start with, not with. Okay, so save it. uh, so this will be the blank with something like this, and then we are going to upload this docx. So let's see, file type not supported. So it is working. So now this time for the final action. So now what we are going to do here, first of all, we are going to check if we have a file or not. Okay, so how we can do this, we are going to get a file in the request object file property. Okay, so if request.file means if we have a file, what we are going to do here. Okay, if we have a file, then we are going to store this file in our body property of our request object. So request.body.photo as a photo. Okay, so we have request object, inside of it we have body property, and inside of the body property we have body property, which is also an object. Inside of that we have a photo. Okay, so now we are going to set it equal to request.file. So what we are getting here, so the file name. So let's log this as well, console.log req.file. So you can see the file name in the console. So again, when I refresh this page, give some fake data and upload this image file, some of the image file from here. Okay, so this one, upload this. So you can see we have this file name over here. So we can use this file name and store this file name in our database, and later on we can use this anywhere in our whole application. So now I'm going to save the data into a database. So const upload equals to, here is my schema. So upload schema, sorry, new upload schema, then request.body, and we are going to save this into a database. Okay, then we are going to redirect the user. So response.redirect user in the previous page. Okay, so now our function is created and we have all the things working. So let's see this in the action. So here, when I refresh the page again and upload the file and choose the file over here from here, maybe some random file, this one, and upload this. So I got redirect back. So let's see if I have a file or not in my images. This one. Okay, so I have a file in my images, and okay, so here we have our all data saved into a database and the file also uploaded. So now let's upload one more file and see is this working fine or not. So this one file, and just for the sake, and when I open this in the public, it should be the last. Okay, so here it is. So this is how we can upload a file in the multer. Thank you. See you in the next upcoming tutorials.